Welcome to episode 12 of South Holston River Fly Shop Fly Tying Videos. I'm your host, Josh McFadden. Today we're going to be tying a sulphur soft hackle. Now, this is a great pattern to have on below a dry fly during a hatch and fishing it kind of on the swing at the end of the drift, allowing for the fly to rise and fish think that it's trying to emerge. It's also a great fly to have as the second fly in a nymph rig during a sulphur hatch. That way, as you get to the end of your drift and your flies come up in the column, it looks like it's a nymph that's ready to emerge and a sulphur that's getting ready to pop off, and fish will really key up on them. We're going to be using the following materials. We're going to be using a TMC 9300 number 18. We're going to be using a nickel silver bead in size 5/64. And we're going to be using some 70 denier yellow thread. You could use yellow uni thread here in an 8/0 if you had it. We're going to be using some yellow stretch tubing. We're also going to have some orange sulphur nymph dubbing. I believe this is SLF brand nymph dubbing. A sulphur orange. And we're going to have a feather from the very top of the Hungarian partridge skin. These really small feathers from up here around the neck. These are where you're going to find the right size feather for this small of a fly. So let's get to tying. All right, we have the TMC 9300 in an 18, and we've got a 5/64 nickel bead. I'm going to go ahead and start my yellow 70 denier thread. We want the body to be fairly short, so we're going to go just to where the abdomen should be, just to where, just above the barb with our thread base. This is a pretty simple tie here. We're going to tie in a piece of yellow stretch tubing, and when we do this, we're going to take great care to put one wrap down here. If I can grab it. There we go. One wrap right down there. Now I'm going to pull really good and tight as I wrap down over top of it, down the body, so I'm not building up any unnecessary bulk. You see what I'm doing there? Alright. And get right to where I want my body to start. Okay, now I'm going to bring my thread back forward. And I'm ready to wrap the abdomen. Okay. We do have a rotary vise, so what I'm going to do is clip a reasonable length of my stretch tube in here, and going to hold it up out of the way and kind of make sure it's wrapped good and tight so we get a nice slender body with our stretch tubing. I do have a good bit of tension right here on the stretch tube, and I'm not just holding it loosely or anything like that. I'm going to come up to right about there, about a bead width back from the eye, and I'm going to go ahead and make a few wraps with my thread and get that just tied off of there. Make sure I've got it really good and secure, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up and snip that excess off. Get it just straightened back up here on the camera. See, we've got a good segmentation going on there with the stretch tubing and good coloration. So now what we're going to do is we're going to very, very lightly dub with this sulphur orange dubbing. We're just going to take just a little bit of this dubbing, just wisps really, like we've talked about before with our dry fly dubbing, and just so little actually that you can't even feel it in between your fingers. It's just barely on there, and it's going to create a small little ball for us to for our soft hackle to have something to press against. Okay, we don't want to go anything outrageous here. Okay, just like that, and it's going to give us a good little thorax area. Now we're going to take a feather from up at the very top of our partridge neck and I really should have probably already pruned one out of here, and I didn't. So it's a good idea to get a couple whenever you do this, because these feathers are more delicate than some of the others that you'll be using. You want to really hold this feather by the tip, and you can see here that these fibers are not too long for this body. Okay, they're not outrageously long whenever I start to wrap here, so it's going to be a good length of fiber. Okay, I'm going to start to just gently stroke these back here. Okay, just gently stroke them back. You can even take here, and I'll do this, take a pair of Hackle pliers and just get the very tips pinched right here in your Hackle pliers. And then as you stroke back, you're making sure that you're not getting any of the fibers that you don't want in there, because we really need some of this good short stuff. Okay, just like that. And that's the section that we're going to stick out over the eye, make sure the curvature is down, and we're going to make a couple, 3-4 good wraps right here, make sure the feather is good and secure. Last thing we want to happen is for this feather to come jumping out of there while we're wrapping. So what we can do here too to make sure it's extra secure is take a wrap in front of that little tuft, and we can be real careful when cutting it off. Okay, just like so. Now I'm going to hold my feather up, and I'm going to gently stroke these fibers back towards the rear of the fly. Okay, just like that, and I'm coaxing them backwards. Now all I'm going to do is take one turn of my vise. I'm going to turn it so it's back towards me, so I'm wrapping over the top with this feather. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way around one time, and that's it right there. No more, no less. Okay, and as soon as I take my thread right up through here a few times, this is going to be plenty secure enough, and plenty of hackle. You know, you've taken all this time to pick out a really nice feather, and it's the right size. Clip off the excess, and we've taken all this time to put a really nice body together. So why would we want to not see that? So just gently stroke all the fibers back, make 2 or 3 wraps right in front. Okay, and that's an appropriate amount of soft hackle fibers. We've got some coming in every direction. Okay, they're kind of gently sweeping back over the body. If we were looking at the face of a clock, and I'll try to show you right after I whip finish here, just to give you an idea about what I'm talking about. Go ahead and make a whip finish or 2 for security's sake. Okay, but if we imagine the face of a clock, I want for there to be a fiber at, say, every odd number. 11 and 1 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 9. I'm going to go ahead and orient the camera right now so that you can see the front of the fly. And okay, and you can see I've got kind of just a very, very sparse amount of fibers coming out right there, some around each side, and that's all you need. And a lot of really great soft hackle fishermen out there that don't fish anything else but soft hackles. And they'll fish some with beads, and some without beads, and some on dry fly hooks, and some on wet fly hooks, and really cover every area of the column. But right here is a real good soft hackle pattern for the Sulphur, and tie some up, and I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised with the results when you're fishing. Happy tying.